Subscribe to the Chess Horse Mafia.
Hello random fellas, this is some rapid for fun, so let's get right into it. Quick opening, boom 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 boom. Hello, it's a voiceover again. I take on d5, and this is some kind of version of the Tarrasch, but I'm not really that afraid of this after the inclusion of g3, bishop g2. So I don't want to take on c5, because that would help him develop his bishop. I want to wait for him to play bishop e7 or bishop d6 before taking, or I want him to take on d4. The main point is he's just going to be left with a weak pawn structure, so he played bishop e6, I castled. Bishop b6 is a bit of a passive square for the bishop, other than that, pretty normal. Plays knight c6. Yeah, so I think for a bit here and play knight bd2. I don't actually know if this was that great of a move. This is not theory, but he takes on d4 and then I play knight b3, and he has no way to defend the extra pawn. He goes bishop e7, and I'm thinking a bit here of whether to take with the b knight or the f knight. I end up taking with the f knight just because I want to open up my bishop. He takes, I take back, and this should just be a fantastic position for white because he has an isolated pawn with no compensation. I have control over the d4 square, so I have a very principled blockading knight on the d4 square. He plays bishop c8. I play b3 because I want to fianchetto my bishop and play e3 and play very solidly. He plays b6. I play bishop b2, and I'm very regretful because I actually had knight c6, which would fork his queen and his bishop. I just completely overlooked that. I was too focused on my own plans. I play rook c1, bringing the rook into the game. And now I can play knight c6 again. That was another plan with rook c1. He castles, so I play it, and now he's forced to give up the bishop pair, which is pretty good for white. He ends up giving up the light squared bishop, which was maybe the more passive of the two. Then he plays rook c8, and trading pieces obviously benefits me because although I do have the bishop pair, which sometimes means you want to keep pieces on the board, trading is good for me because of his terrible pawn structure with the pawn on d5. So I take on c8, queen takes back, and I think for a bit here about whether to take on f6 and win the pawn or not, but I end up deciding not to go for it because I feel that with the opposite colored bishops, I could get into some trouble with him attacking me. I'm not afraid of him drawing because we still have pieces on the board, but yeah, I end up playing queen d4, which is a pretty human move. I just want to line up the battery and attack him. Yeah, so he plays bishop c5, hitting my queen. Relatively logical move. So I end up playing queen d2. I did see queen d3 as an option, but I would rather play queen d2 because I want to attack him at some point, because I have the bishop pair in a more active position. He plays queen e6, which is just a move to activate his queen so that I can't pin him on the c file with rook to c1. And also he wants to defend his d5 pawn. He has some dream of hanging on to the d5 pawn. I don't think it's possible, but a man can dream. I play b4 to kick his bishop away and force it into passivity. He plays bishop b7, which is a move bringing his bishop to safety and defending his knight on f6. I play a3 to defend my b4 pawn because I looked at the line with taking on f6 and taking on d5, and I thought that my b4 pawn would be hanging to his bishop if I took with the queen. He plays rook d8, defending his pawn once more, bringing his rook into the game, and I play rook c1, bringing my rook into the game. I need to be cautious if his bishop ever gets to g5, but I don't think it ever will, and even if it does, I can play e3, and there's no skewer. So here I'm thinking he'll play knight e4, and he does. So I play queen c2 pretty quickly. I want to try and build up a time advantage if I can. He plays knight f6 back, just because he wants to make an easy move and not lose on time. It's a bit of a difficult position to play for black. So I play queen d1 because I want to bring my rook to c7, and I also want to put more pressure onto his d5 pawn. And I also just need to make an easy move so that I don't get into time trouble. He plays knight e4 again, and I play rook c7. Getting down to the 7th rank, I'm thinking if he plays rook d7, then I can give a check on the back rank, or trading rook should always benefit me. Now that I think about it, if he plays rook d7, I can just take it, and if queen takes d7, then bishop takes e4, and his queen is hanging and pinned on the d file. He plays a5, he wants to avoid losing his a7 pawn, and he doesn't want to play passively with a move like rook a8. I take on a5, he takes back, I play rook a7, he plays queen b6, attacking my rook and defending his a5 pawn. At first I was thinking bishop d4, but then I realized that there was maybe a tactic in the air here because his bishop is hanging on e7, but his plan is to take my bishop on b2 if that happens. But then I realize that his d-pawn is pinned to his rook, so his knight's hanging. I make a very important move here, which is rook takes on e4, and this is because I want to keep everything solid. If I play bishop takes e4, the pieces are a bit too loose and I don't like that position so much. And he resigns. 80.5% accuracy and my opponent got 77.1, so this was all theoretical apparently. I didn't know it was theory, but okay. Castle should have played knight c3. Should have played knight c3, really should have. Knight d3 was fine. So what did he miss here? Now takes. He should have played h6 and somehow that gave crazy advantage for him. Alright, game review. We're gonna ask the engine what he thinks. c4, rook c8, give it equality. Interesting. Okay, good to know. What's the plan behind knight c3? Again, it says h6 is a good move, but let's say he takes on d4, knight takes. This is just good for white, apparently. Bishop e7, then you can take, and it's fine. Okay, guess I should have just gone for knight c3. Interesting. Yep, knight b3 was good. Knight b takes d4. I played knight f takes d4, but it didn't really matter because he traded. Queen b3 was best. Completely missed that. Bishop e3, bishop f4. Yeah, it just doesn't want me to fianchetto on my bishop. Knight c6 just wins. Yeah, I only saw it after I played the move that I played. Now knight f5 wins. I saw knight f5, but I thought that he could play like bishop c5 and... Oh, his g7 pawn's hanging. Yeah, miss again. Now I find knight c6 only when it's a mistake do I find it. And rook takes was fine. Queen d4 was a mistake, but it's pretty human. I saw queen d3, but I thought that it was an odd move. Queen d4 looks more natural. Queen d2 is a miss. I needed to play queen d3 or something. I don't know what I missed. Queen e6 was a mistake. Now I should take on f6 and win the pawn. But b4 is also a fine move. Again, bishop takes f6 would have been winning for me. Interesting. Bishop takes f6. I thought queen takes... Bishop takes d5. What? I thought queen takes d5. Bishop takes d5. Rook d8. It just says that this pin literally doesn't matter. That's like very inhuman. It just says play rook d1 or e4. Actually, e4 is probably logical. Okay, good to know. Rook c1 was good. Knight e4. Queen c2 was good. Bishop d4. Queen d1 was a mistake, but I was just trying to play fast. a5 was good, should have played b5. This was a complete mistake because of bishop c5. Yeah, I totally missed that. Okay, so I did end up making a very bad mistake this game. It's already a bit overcomplicated though. Should have played queen b3, which is an odd move. Rook takes e7. Yeah, I find the winning tactic because that is in fact hanging. Yeah, bishop takes. I did not calculate this, by the way, but I just thought it looked weird because there's some odd stuff going on, right? There's too many loose things. So rook takes is just so much more solid because it cannot be taken. Let's say queen takes a3, I would have just played, I think rook d4 maybe. I don't know if I would have played rook e3, like the most accurate move, but rook d4 is simple because you're just going to win the pawn. And this passed pawn isn't that scary because, you know, you can always sacrifice the bishop for it or something. You probably won't even need to sacrifice the bishop. Anyways, yep, pretty nice game. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Subscribe to the Chess Horse Mafia.